All right, this is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3, and it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there that are laboring, enduring the elements, making your body a living sacrifice, trying to seal the elect, making your call and election sure, seeking out your own salvation, as well as you sisters that are learning, listening, applying, being obedient to your husbands. Shalom, shalom. Once again, it's the brother Zechariah coming back to you with another lesson. All right, here on this Wednesday afternoon. All right, and Lord willing, this be edifying. And I just got off the plantation, and man, it was a hot one in there today, and I ain't had much sleep. You know, I did some late night lessons last night. I did two, I guess, you know, what I like to call a double header. And I was making up for Monday because I didn't do one. And I was a little under the weather. And it wasn't the symptoms that I had last week, but just, you know, for one, it's starting to get hot. It's hot in that building. Like I could barely breathe in there today, man. We don't have AC, so it's, and then those fans, they don't do nothing, man. It does nothing but blow hot air. But certain co-workers, they smoke. Some of the guys out here, you know, some of my neighbors, you know, they smoke. They have to come outside to smoke. They're not allowed to smoke in the apartments. There's supposed to be no smoking apartments. But some sneak and do it anyways in the building, and it messes with my breathing, you know. So I have to, you know, I've suffered because of that. But, you know, and it just had me all jacked up, man. So that's why I didn't get a chance to get that lesson out. But, you know, I ended up putting it out the last night, okay? So, Lord willing, you know, both of those lessons be edifying unto you, all right? And, you know, I had another lesson on my mind to do. Lord willing, I might get to it later on today. I don't know, depending on this weather. They're talking about we got some severe storms possible producing tornado. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. But after I do this one, I'm gonna probably rest up a little bit, because like I said, after I did those lessons last night, it was late and I was still up. I couldn't go to sleep, and I just went on and just went into work, and you know, it was a little rough for a little bit, but I made it through the day, all right? But something happened today, man, at work. So this is kind of like a testimony, but also going into MOTB, man, which is long overdue. I'll probably be doing another one here soon, because I got other articles that I need to backtrack and collect and do a lesson on those as well. But man, I'm telling you, man, I think I'm starting to believe that the MOTB could be coming very, very soon, you guys. And the testimony that I have might attest to that, okay? So let me read this again. Habakkuk 2 and 3 says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." All right? So without further ado, let me go ahead and just go to this post right here, all right? And it's something called Palo City, all right? We have our own time clock, all right, at work, and all you do is just punch in the last 4 digits of your social, and that clocks you in, clocks you out, and then it all goes back to the main computer, which the plant manager, she deals with that. And, you know, as long as you do, you know, you punch in, punch out, do all that, it all goes back to the computer. And that's what, you know, they go off of, and you get your pay, you know, your pay. And if you don't do right with that, you know, you could very well not get paid. All right. Well, she comes out, and that thing's been working fine. We never had no problems with it. So, but she just comes out of nowhere and says they're getting a new time clock. So I'm kind of like, what's wrong with the one we got? And then she just started rambling on, but then something stuck out to me, and she said, you know, things going digital. And I was like, oh shoot. When she said that, I'm thinking MOTB, you know. So she told us the name of it. We had to like set up a online account thing with it and stuff. So, you know, we was going through all that with it, and so I wanted to look at this. All right, and And it says Palo City says founded in 1997, but it says and publicly traded since 2014. Palo City offers a intuitive, all right, easy to use products suite that helps businesses automate and streamline human resources, I guess, HR, all right, and payroll processes, attract and retain talent, and build culture and connection with their employees. Okay. And then I guess this is the guy here, Steve Surowitz, all right, which that's a weird last name. Makes me wonder, you know, if this guy might be, you know, he could probably be one of them Malachites or something, all right. But this is the founder of it, okay, and you can see he's a billionaire, all right, 2.3 billion, all right, entrepreneur, all right. He founded the Palo City Corporation. All right. So, you know, me talking about this, you know, some people will say, oh, man, that don't sound like nothing. You know, what is this? All right. So I wanted to bring out a quick precept regarding that. All right. Which this is my go-to precept whenever, you know, somebody says, oh, man, what's that got to do with anything? All right. Well, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 15. And it says, be not ignorant of anything, all right, in a great matter or a small matter, okay? And this might look like a small matter, but this thing can well, I ain't gonna say it could be, it's more than likely a great matter, all right? It's more than likely a great matter, all right? Her talking about going digital and all that, which we know that, hey, these devils are gonna eventually go digital, okay? They've been talking about it for quite some time now, all right? So now you're seeing a lot of these, I guess, these jobs, and not just my job. It's probably going to be, you know, wherever you brothers are working. I'm sure they're gonna make pop up and say, hey, we're changing it. If not, if they already have it kind of set up, all right. But from what some of the coworkers are saying, they said the reason for it is because something's wrong with the time clock we have now, and I don't believe that. That thing has been working fine. It still works fine, and they're saying like, when they first get it in there, we're going to be having to clock out on both of the time clocks until they get it all adjusted over to the new one. All right. So it's a lot of stuff, and I'm paying attention to all this. But let me read this again. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Okay. Now, you know, she said something about digital. So I was like, something told me to, you know, I looked that up, and I was like, it didn't say much in just that post there. But then I said, let me put Palo City digital clock, all right, and then bam, right here up top it says employee time tracking clock in system, okay. But let me go down here real quick, and it says right down here, it says new touchless time clocks with thermal scanning, okay. So you have that, all right, but let's go back up, okay, but it says that touchless, okay, where you don't even have to like touch it, all right. It says thermal scanning, but going up back up to here with the employee time tracking clock in system, all right, down here it says choose from variety of time clock hardware equipped with a range of punch options, from simple badge swipe, which that's what we had, where you have the badge, and if you don't have the badge no more, like some people lost their badges, then they said don't worry about it, you could just punch in your last 4 digits of your social and you can still get clocked in. So most of us are doing that because we don't have the badges anymore, all right. But look at this, it says to biometric facial and fingerprint recognition, okay. So facial, that's dealing with your face, okay, and then you got the fingerprint, which is what, your hand, okay. So that's, to me, man, when I read that, instantly it led me to thinking about Revelations, the 13th chapter. So that's why when I read that, I'm like, oh shoot, all right. Let me click these images, which I didn't click it, but I guess these might be some of the like time clocks or whatever. And I don't know which one we're gonna get or what it's gonna look like, but hey, it's gonna be something, man. All right. I said, man, they can very well be getting it ready, man. Okay. And you know, of course, my job, I thought they were gonna have a little backbone and they won't compromise, but hey, they gonna get down with the get down, man. Okay. I didn't say nothing because, you know, most of them at work are Edomites anyway, so they don't care. They'll probably be in line to take it, you know. But you know, at least I'll warn the Jakes, you know, that's in there. You know, hey, you know, don't take that MOTB, man. All right. But hey, man, things are, you know, it says be not ignorant of anything great or a small matter. All right. So while we're talking about the, you know, mentioning ignorant, all right, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11, and it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant. Look at that, ignorant of his devices. All right, and we're not ignorant of his devices, man. We're on to it, man. All right. So, all right, you have that. All right, and then a precept to go along with that. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:9. And it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Okay, so somebody coming after the working of Satan. All right. It says, with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right. And y'all know, man, usually when I think about this precept, I start thinking about that dude Elon Musk. You know, he's got his Neuralink, which I'm not going to get all into it. All right, in this lesson, you know, because I want to be straight to the point with it. You know, y'all know he got the Neuralink, okay, which he focuses on the implanting of that you know, brain chip, all right, into your mind. Look, 441, call all Yahweh Shemi Shah. All right, so you know, it's heavy, man. All right, and like I said, these devils are moving, man. You know, there's a lot of resistance, okay, even amongst their own people. You know, people are speaking out against Israel. All right, that dude Netanyahu, they talking about him. You know, a lot of these Edomites here, they don't want to. They talking about they don't want to go into war. They don't want to fight this man's war. He's out of his mind. You know, and if Trump do it, you know, hey, everybody is just like, so, you know, hey, this devil's like, hey, man, we need to probably go and get this thing in motion. All right. So let me read this again. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right. And there's and while we're talking about Elon, which I just want to go straight to this, all right, you got the AI overview. It says Elon Musk has issued warnings about the potential devaluation and even worthlessness of the US dollar due to factors like rising national debt, excessive government spending. He says he has stated that if the US doesn't address these issues, it says the dollar could lose its value and potentially lead to an economic crisis. This is what we've been talking about. I'm talking about the men of the Lord who's been bringing this out, man, in these lessons that we do, man. Okay, we've been talking about this for a while, and people just, you know, thinking, oh, you know, it's going to die down, or, oh, y'all been saying that and nothing happening. Hey, man, like I said, that's why I started off with that in Habakkuk. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely not tarry. Yeah, all right. And here it is, man. All right. So again, it says Elon Musk has issued warnings about the potential devaluation and even worthlessness of the US dollar due to factors like rising national debt and excessive government spending. He has stated that if the US doesn't address these issues, the dollar could lose its value and potentially lead to an economic crisis. And I think they want it to crash. Okay, because they have a solution. All right, but they got to play the role of acting like, you know, hey, we gave the warning and we ain't do it. We ain't got nothing to do it. We've been given a warning and people weren't listening, and bam, here it is. You know, he's the one that's actually, bringing on this economic collapse, but then also turn around and then he's going to pop up with a solution. All right, and it's going to be this man's mark, man, the MOTB, man. Okay. All right. So see, you have that. All right. And then there's an article, and it looked like it was posted 7 hours ago. So let's go ahead and click this. All right. It says Elon Musk gives another America bankruptcy warning. See, all tax revenue will go to paying. All right. And then it just, I guess, you know, like it continue on. All right, and it says Tesla CEO Elon Musk has issued a fresh warning about the U.S. economy, saying the company may soon go bankrupt if things don't change soon. Sharing a post on microblogging platform X, formerly Twitter, Musk wrote, Salakia, All right, if this continues, America goes de facto bankrupt, and all tax revenue will go to paying interest on national debt with nothing left for anything else. The tech billionaire quoted an ex-user Wall Street Mav who posted, "How did we arrive at a point in this country where 25% of all tax revenue goes to just paying the interest in $37 trillion in government debt?" All right, the user further added, all right, and let's see, U.S. government total revenue, it says, equals about 5 trillion. Look at that, man. All right, and then it goes down. U.S. government interest on debt about 1.2 trillion. U.S. government spending about 7 trillion. Okay, and then it just goes on and on. But y'all can read the rest of that on your own time. All right. Let me go ahead and go here to the book of James. All right, chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." All right. Verse 2, it says, "Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten." All right. Verse 3, "Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together, all right, for the last days." All right, verse 4, it says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth." All right, so there you have it. All right, we know that it's going to come down to this economic collapse, man, because, hey, Babylon the Great is wounded, and it's not going to be healed. All right, this is Jeremiah 51 and verse 9. It says, "We would have healed Babylon, okay, but she is not healed." Okay, so Babylon, this place Babylon is not healed. All right, it says, "Forsake her, all right, let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven." See that? The Heavenly Father God has eyes set upon this place. This is also the sinful kingdom. It says, and is lifted up even to the skies. You see that? Absolutely, man. All right, so with that, this is 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14, and it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein," because not just Babylon. Hey, when this place fall, hey, everybody else gonna be affected too. This thing gonna be global, man. All right, that's why, hey, all hell's gonna break loose throughout the four corners of the earth. So even if you do, like, hey, it says let everyone go to their own country, no matter where you go, all hell's gonna break loose. But hey, it's gonna be on a whole nother level on this place, because this place has been living deliciously. Many of these other countries, they you know, their people are used to the oppression and stuff like that. But this place, you know, they've been living very deliciously, as it tells you in the book of Revelations. So when all this torment and sorrow are going to come upon them, man, they're gonna go crazy, man. Okay. So again, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, which woe means destruction. All right. So now let's go ahead and get into the meat of things, man. Revelations, the 13th chapter. All right. Because remember, we was reading in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9, where it says, "Even him who's coming after the working of Satan," okay, with all signs you know, lying wonders and stuff, okay? But look at this. It says, "And he doeth great wonders." Okay, this is that same individual, all right? All right, "so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men," okay? They're false miracles. Verse 14 says, "It deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live." Okay, that's when the Roman Empire fell. Okay, and see it healed. But see now, hey, they got another that wound is opened up again, but this time they're not going to be healed. All right, and that's why it's going to make this man come down with great wrath. Part of his great wrath is coming down with this MOTB. All right. Verse 15 says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." So if you don't worship it, you don't accept it, you're not getting down with it, okay, then they're gonna take you out, kill you. Okay, all right. Verse 16, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." So you see that? All right. which, you know, Elon is like I said, he's tackling that forehead part with his Neuralink. But then you got these other companies and stuff. They've been going with the microchip in your hand. All right. And this is what we've been bringing out. All right. Revelations 13 and 17. OK. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. OK.
A 425, please.
All right. Let's see here. Kenny, keep your mask on.
Sorry, we don't take cash.
Okay. 1 second. Is that me?
Sorry, we don't take card either.
I'm sorry? What am I supposed to use?
Can you step to the side so you can figure this out?
Can I speak to your manager? No! Excuse me. Do you guys take checks?
We don't need it.
I have the money.
We don't need it.
Okay, what the hell is that? When was that implemented? I don't have that.
Sorry, but we're cashless now. I had to implement the new system just to stay in business.
It's okay, Mom. You don't need it. Let's just go.
I hope you understand. Oh, but hey, if you want to check out Mike's Corner store right up the street, you might have some luck.
Thank you.
This man saying that he don't got to use no credit card or nothing to pay for this water right here.
I didn't know if you need help or anything. Bye.
Oh, I got my, okay, thank you. Whoa, wait a minute. What barcode? Hold on.
Soon you will be able to pay for groceries at every Whole Foods in the U.S. with just a swipe of your hand. Amazon says that the Pay by Palm technology will be at all of those stores nationwide by the end of the year. Customers just have to hover their hand over the device to pay. This method is already being used at 200 Whole Foods locations across 20 states, and you can also find it in other places, stores like Panera Bread.
So I'm going to show you how I pay for my drink here in China. 微信可以的。
可以啊。
对。So I use my. You see that? All I used was my hand, and that was it. Hello.
All right, so let me read this again. All right, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And you know, hey, I got those clips, man. I keep them on deck, ready for this MOTB. Every time I read it, I'm gonna bring them out. Okay, the one showing you that Eve in the store, you know, and you notice like she was trying to purchase certain items, all right, using cash. You know, dude said can't take cash, card, and can't take that. You know, check, can't take that. Okay, there's a lot of places. One of my co-workers, she's an older lady. You know, she got laid off now, which I've mentioned that. But she's old school, man. She pays a lot of her bills using checks. But a lot of places where she was paying her bills, they said, hey, we're not taking checks no more. You know, so they trying to get to, you know, her just using like a bank card or something. And she said she's not used to all that. She's either check or she usually gets cash. And I told her it's going to come a time where, because, you know, she's real leery about banks. So she uses it, you know, because she has, you know, her money gets direct deposit. But as soon as it gets deposited in there, she pulls it right out, has cash and carries cash around with her. But I try to tell her because I don't know, you know, like, you know, you got to try people's spirit. And, you know, like her upbringing, it made me think that she could be one of our people. I don't know. She looked like, on the outside, she looked like what you would call an Edomite. But I think she could be probably of the tribe of Gad, because she didn't grow up with her father and don't know a lot about him and his side. She was raised by her mom's side. But even her hair, man, it's like real. She got that real thick hair, man, like you know, our people, man. So it's kind of like, you know, for a white woman, it's kind of different. But she had them features like, you know, you would think that maybe she might be like, you know, our people, but I don't know. But so I went ahead and told her, I was like, hey, you know, it's gonna come a time where you know, cash, they're gonna try to go digital. And I told her about it, you know, and I told her about the mark and everything. So, you know, maybe, you know, that seed been planted. All right, but I don't know, you know, just in case she is our people, you know, you let them know. All right, but you know, these heathen, hey, to hell with them. You know, we know that they're gonna take it. You know, 2/3 of our people are gonna take it too. But you know, we just give out the warning. You know, so I wouldn't have told her just because I don't know. Like I said, you know, I was trying her spirit. You know, but yeah, man. Hey, it's some heavy times, man. You know, so this whole new time clock thing coming in, man, I'm like, man, they probably getting it in motion. And it says that with that thing, you're able to, you know, it could use facial recognition or pay or you know, or clock in with your using your hand. All right, so that's showing you that, hey, man, it's gonna be in motion. All right, right now, you know what we're reading right here. So, hey, it's feel like, man, hey, we're in those times, man. Okay, verse 18 says, here is wisdom. Okay, which we know that wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times, man. It says, let him that hath understanding, okay, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, okay, and his number is 666, okay, which we know that, hey, these damn devils, they show you who they are because they always throwing that up, them different hand gestures and all that kind of stuff. They showing you who they are, man. They know who they are, man. All right, and we know, but it's just some of our people that have been blinded. They, oh, we love everybody, and know y'all this, and y'all teaching hate and stuff. Well, guess what? This man gonna have you in line taking that MOTB, man. All right, and you gonna see him for who he truly is. All right. So after reading all that, okay, we're gonna come to the word charagma. All right, and we're here in the Blue Letter Bible. All right, I want to come down here. All right, and it says the KJV translates Strong's G5480. All right, into the following matter: mark or graven. Okay. And then it says a stamp or imprinted mark, okay? It says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, anti-Yahushai. Okay, this guy's going to be anti-Yahushai, which these Edomites are anti-Yahushai. They're anti-Yahweh, anti-Yahushai, anti the holy angels, anti-Israelites. They're anti-good, anti-righteousness, anti-holy Bible, all right? They're nothing but pure wickedness, man. Okay, it says the marked brand upon horses. Okay, and they see us as nothing more but cattle. So of course they're marked, trying to brand you. Okay, and down here it says thing carved, sculpture, graven work. Okay, which that's what graven image is. Okay, sculpture, graven work, which they got those things all everywhere. Like I'm standing out here with a carved out sculpture of a Gadite. Okay. Now, it could be a graven image if you take it and you pray to it every morning. You know, I come out here and pray. I'm staring right at it. You know, if I come out here and pray to it, but, you know, I'm not doing it. I'm looking at it like, hey, it's spiritual, seeing that sitting right there. It's a Gadite, okay, which I believe, you know, through the spirit, that's my tribe, all right? And I was like, you can't make that up. It's just random. Here it is out here, you know, where I live at, and bam, it's sitting right out here, a Gadite, all right? Okay. All right, down here it says a scratch or etching, okay, stamp as a badge of servitude, okay, who they gonna be serving, okay, Esau, Edom, all right, the serpent, all right, or sculptured figure, graven, mark, all right, and it just goes on and on, okay. But I just wanted to hit some of those points, all right. Now I wanted to pull this up, but I said companies accepting payment, okay, like via facial recognition. All right, and let's just see what the AI overview says. And it says several businesses are beginning to accept facial recognition as a form of payment. So see that? All right, moving beyond traditional methods like cash, cards, or even mobile payments. Companies like Pop ID are at the forefront of this trend, enabling customers to pay by simply glancing at a camera. See that? All right. And that's all I'm gonna read on that, but this showing you that, hey, it's in motion, okay? And then I also wanted to just you know, type in companies accepting payment via, you know, payment by, you know, with your hand, palm payment. Okay. So let's see what this says. And it says several companies are currently utilizing palm scanning technology for payments. And you saw the clip, all right, and the second clip that I brought out in the when I was reading Revelation 13 chapter. Okay, you know, Jake in the store, and it was being, you know, making the payment with the hand. Okay, all right. So these things are in motion. Okay, so again, it says several companies are currently utilizing palm scanning technology for payments, with Amazon's Amazon One service being a prominent example. Amazon One allows customers to pay by hovering their palm over a scanner, linking their palm signature to their Amazon account and payment method. Whole Foods Market is a key location for Amazon One, with the service being rolled out to all U.S. stores. Other businesses include Panera Bread, see, they're one of them, Hudson. All right, and some airport and entertainment venues also accept Amazon One payments. Additionally, Tencent, okay, has launched a similar system, all right, in China called Wexin Palm Scan Payments, okay, which is being used in various locations like 7-Eleven stores and on the Beijing Airport Express train line. Okay, so see, these things are coming all into motion, man. All right, now I just wanted to show a picture of the Amazon Palm Pay, even though I had the clip, but just showing you, look, man. Okay, and I believe through the Spirit, this is what our forefathers seen, all right, in the visions. Okay, all right, and here we are, right we're in those times. All right, and people just laugh and scoff and talk shit about us, but that's okay. All right. So with all that understanding, hey, this devil's gonna come down. That's part of him coming down with great wrath. All right, that he's also gonna come down with great wrath on us. Okay, because he know that he had but a short time. Hell, his great wrath, he's going to make war with Yahweh Shai and the holy angels. That shows you that this man is not right in the spirit. He's a psychopath. Anybody that think, you know, themselves to, you know, like, you can't be joined under somebody like that. And you got guys out here trying to save the Gentiles and the heathen. Bro, you need to focus on our people, okay? Now, as for the heathen, I'm not going to say that they'll be saved. I don't want to use that word saved, but I'm going to say spared, okay? Because they're not going to be, like, wiped out or nothing, okay? Even the Edomites are not going to be wiped out. Not yet, you know, because they got to serve us. Now, a lot of them are going to be slaughtered. You know, going to be a lot of slaughtered, even of some of these other nations. You know, if that's their judgment, they're going to get it, okay? But we know that the other nations are going to be around, because if that's, you know, we get to come and teach the nations. Yep. So, you know, hey, man, you know, and we, like I said, we've been bringing it out. All right. But this is Revelations 19, starting at verse 19. And it says, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth, all right, and their armies, all right, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Who was that sat on the horse and in the army? That's Yahweh Shai with the holy angels. Okay. So you see. All right, verse 20, and it says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, and wrought miracles before him. Okay, you see that? With which he deceived them, look at that had received the mark of the beast. They've been deceived. You know, and another example with Elon and Neuralink, the first guy that got his Neuralink brain implant, guess what he named it? He named it Eve, okay? And we know that the scriptures goes into, we know the story about Eve, and she was what? Deceived. Eve being deceived. All right, it rhymes. But you know, hey, she was deceived by the serpent, man. Okay, and he calls it Eve. Like, man, you can't make this up, man. Okay, it says, which he deceived them that received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. Okay, graven images, man. It says these both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So they're going to be cast alive, man. So you can only imagine the pain that they're going to feel, all right? Because, you know, they're going to try to make war. Hey, Michael going to prevail over them, all right? Michael got an ass whooping coming for them. You know, he going to run that fade, all right? This is Revelations 3, all right, and verse 10. Because, see, like I said, here is wisdom, all right? You know, them that have understanding, okay? And that's going to be us, Lord willing. You know, we keep these precepts, man, okay? Hold on to them for dear life, You know, keep them stored in your mind. We're speaking of that. All right, this is Revelations 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, this word, because that's what's going to keep you. I also will keep thee. This is the Heavenly Father keeping you. Look, from the hour of temptation. What is that hour of temptation? Okay, the MOTB, because they're going to say, hey, you know, you ain't going to be able to eat without this thing. Hey, you ain't gonna be able to drink without this thing. You ain't gonna be able to have shelter without this thing. You know, you ain't gonna be able to partake in society. You know, bread and circus. You won't be able to go to an NBA game, a club, a bar, to the grocery store. None of these things without it. All right. All right. It says, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world. So not just Babylon, but all the world. That's why I read 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay. It says to try them that dwell upon the earth. So they're going to be tried, okay, with this. And a lot of people are going to fail it, man. Verse 11, it says, behold, I come quickly. This is going to be Yahweh Shai. He says, hold that fast which thou hast. And what is that? This wisdom, this knowledge, this truth. Okay. And that's stored in your mind. But that's why it says this, that no man take thy crown. And what does that crown symbolize? Your salvation. Okay? Because if you let them put that thing in your mind, everything that you knew, you learned, this truth, it's probably going to be erased, man. Ain't no telling, they could probably control your mind and mess with your mind. All right? This devil's got all kind of stuff now. Like man, it's crazy. You know, they're listening to us through these phones. You know, I had a coworker one time that was talking about some type of medicine that he had to get, and he mentioned some weird ass name. I've never heard of it, but he said it. He came up to me at work and said it to me. Next thing you know, my phone on Instagram, like I kept getting these ads of that same medicine he mentioned, which like I said, I've never heard of it or nothing, and all of a sudden it popped up. So they're listening to you through your phones, man. All right, and then I was at a CVS one time, and I was looking at some vitamins. All right. Looking at them, just literally just sitting there looking at them, and this devil's watching, man. The scriptures tell you that the wicked watcheth the righteous, man, and seeketh to slay him. All right, and we're not ignorant of his devices. You know, of course we have to use these devices as these phones to do the work and do these videos, but if it wasn't for that, I'll get rid of it, man. But hey, you know, we're doing what we got to do. The Heavenly Father is going to preserve us, because we know that when he come after us, we know according to the scriptures, the Heavenly Father is going to what? Lift up a standard against them. Okay, so we don't fear this man. All right, but again it says, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take that crown. Okay, which is your salvation. All right, and with that, I'll go ahead and close it out with Revelations 14, starting at verse 9. And I pray that this has been an edifying lesson. Like I said, man, I despite, you know, being, you know, not having zero sleep last night and just going straight into work, and I made it through the day, man. It was rough, you know, but you know, what transpired at work today, man, I could not wait to get home and do this, man. I said, I got to do it. I don't care how tired I am, I got to do it. And then plus, before the storms come, at least get this out, you know, in case I may not be able to come back out if it's going to be tornado weather tonight. But most definitely wanted to get this out through the spirit, okay, and then be tuned in to the stuff that's continuing on with Iran and Israel. All right, but all right, back to this. Okay, Revelations 14, starting at verse 9, says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, okay, if any man, and this is a warning, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, okay, you see that? Verse 10, it says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, okay, and in the presence of the Lamb. So you're going to be tormented while Yahweh, you know, his son Yahweh Shai and the holy angels are going to be watching and looking at you, being destroyed and tormented, okay, in that lake of fire. All right. So you see, verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Call all Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors unto the elders of the nation of Israel. And shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Hey, until the next one. Shalom.